Hello, people. Um, just a little bit of maybe a sort of a rant, but not really kind of thing. You know, my autistic child is throwing the biggest fit right now because her TV I just bought for her is black and white, and I doesn't come with the remote because from the thrift store they throw all their remotes in the box and I couldn't find the remote for it, so yeah, great, $100 down the drain. Anyway, motherfucker. I just pray I can fix it anyway, figure it out. Maybe I can hit it or something. I don't know. Open it up, rewire it. Anyway, um, yeah. Autistic kids, man. It's like, all right, she won't eat a fucking cheeseburger from Wendy's because the hamburger is square. And she won't eat spaghetti noodles because the noodles aren't square like raviolis. You know, oh man, that girl will drain the crap out of you when it comes to her happiness. I swear to God, it's just like, whew. Uh, anyway, so yeah. Um. Now, I was thinking about, I'm fighting against this whole mind the gap thing too. But I do compute it. I've spent a lot of time in therapy. A lot of time in. I've done a lot of school in art too, like 12 years of art school, which I could praise my dad for. You know, now, my dad is a huge part of my life, like it is for everybody's lives. Your father is a huge part of your life, right? Now, my dad, I've always looked up to him as a great person, fabulous person, throughout my 40 years of life, right? And one big reason why I didn't just go, kill myself during the time that I was tortured and stuff, a lot of reasons why I graduated high school. He taught me values and, you know, he taught me many things, and protected me. And like when I was neglected by my mother, I couldn't see, hear, smell, nothing, I was extremely neglected, and he came and he saved me, and he brought me to a bunch of therapy and, art school, and he did a lot for me, braces, surgeries, you know. He retired at 40 because he was so smart, and he's a military guy, sort of, but not. He does work for him, but you know, um. So when he betrayed me, and I mean he really betrayed me hard, very very hard. I mean, I almost. Anyway, but so, and I know there's people out there that could probably relate to this, but so mind the gap. All right, once this big thing becomes a lie, all the other things become that are connected to it also becomes fucking damaged. All that stuff that I learned from him, the dog sledding, the values, the art, everything that I learned graduating, everything that I strived for just to make him proud of me, all the stuff that I did was for naught. It was for naught. You know, and people do that. It's the same with God, what people do for God, to make God proud of you, and just to make you yourself proud of yourself, you know. when it comes to stuff like that, all right, you know, and so therefore, I do what I did. And I'm just smoking a whole shit ton of pot and drowning myself in cigarettes and weed, just trying to, you know, drown out the fact that he did that, and he was pretty much the only positive thing that I had in my life that was, positive, great and stuff on that level of happiness and peace. So all that got taken away. All that got taken away when he betrayed me. It all became a lie, and I think that's like my biggest problem right now. That's why my ego can't get past this betrayal, because I've been betrayed and betrayed and betrayed and betrayed and betrayed and betrayed and betrayed by every fucking buddy. One way or another, motherfucking another. Except for, some of the new people out there. I'm not talking to you guys. But, I do mean that literally. Alright? It's like, one time, true story, I was 12 years old, and there was this boy that I really liked, that he was bullied, alright? He had a terrible mother, and this was junior high, right? And, he had, like, this Catholic mother that was strict as fuck, alright? And this boy was adopted by her. He was an Indian, and he was really cool, man. But, his mother couldn't let us hang out. We couldn't be friends, because his mother wouldn't let him. And then school came around, and he found me. But I forgot about him. I forgot about him, because I was so angry behind my parents that he came up to me. He was like, "Hey, you remember me?" And I was like, "No." But my parents had pissed me off that day so bad, and it broke his heart that I didn't remember him. And anyway, not a week later, I found him hanging. I thought I was dreaming. There were so many times of tragic things that happened in my life, of great, great betrayal that just, I didn't mean to betray that kid. It was just like, at the moment, at that particular moment, at that particular point, I didn't remember because I was just too angry. Anyway. So, I asked the sun for a friend. I even had a flower that I put it into the river, and the sunset was down the river, and it floated to the sunset, this flower down the river, the Wolf River. Of course, I always live by a Wolf River one way or another. It's funny. But anyway, so a new neighbor just so happens to move in a couple weeks later. And I thought this was the friends that God was talking about, that God maybe brought me some friends. But, the girl that was my age that was going to school with me just so happened to, we were cool, but then she started school and she became popular, and I was completely out of the picture. That was the end of the friendship for me because I wasn't popular. And the boy that happened to be my sister's age, a little older. He was 9 and she was 5, but he did terrible, terrible things to her. Very, very bad stuff. And So it was not of any kind of understanding of why the son might have did that, but I don't know what, but there was just things that led to it. Possibly other friendships, possibly other reasons for things, because I ended up meeting another guy not too long after that. Ah, man, that fucking Satan demon is an asshole. I hate him. I hate him. I hate him. I hate him. I hate him so much. Anyway, this is the time I recognized that actually for the first time that people were being possessed. Because my friend at that time, her name was Danny, and she was a blonde Indian. She got possessed by these demons, and they kept on talking to me and telling me these lies about this guy I liked. And it ended up making him run away. He actually stole a car and ran. All right. Ran the fuck away because of we couldn't be together. Because of these lies of the demons were tearing us apart. He went to prison for a while for that one. Anyway. But anywho, so my father, yeah. My father stayed with me. He never believed me about this whole guide and mission thing. He never believed me about it. He always protected me from the really, really bad stuff that my family was doing and stuff. It's a big, huge secret shit. All right, but it's not good. And so I never betrayed him. Even when, it came down to a point where, I had to lie for him. In order for him to keep him safe. And I did, and I got in trouble for him. And I've done so many other things for him, and he's done so much for me too. But that betrayal, man. All right. That betrayal, man. So, to surrender, to let go of something of this magnitude, which I know that some of y'all have to go through, you can't just face the past. If the past is in your face in the now, all right? So what do you do when the past is not in the past? How do you let go and leave it in the past when it's actually in your face, staring at you? Like my autistic daughter. Power's low. I mean, I would never betray my children. Never. But what do you do in this situation? I mean, I feel like she'd be much more better taken care of in someone else's hands, like in a home or something like that, because of my disability, that's very hard to take care of her. And she drains the fuck out of me. And she also, my other daughter, really hates her, and plus she can't be around small children like my son because she's violent towards babies and stuff. What do you do about that situation? I can never betray her. I can never just let her go. She's not violent, but she's violent. She's violent, all right? But she's getting better. All right, I've been working with her, but still, still she won't, if there's a baby going walking through Walmart and there's a baby and that baby just so happened to cries, she might whack that baby, all right? really seriously. I mean, not hard, but she might just pop, you know. Still, it's still, you know. But what do you do in that situation? You know, it's very, very, very stressful. But it's very hard, you know. Anyway, well, I can never betray her though. But how do you not? What is the right thing to do, you know? What is the right thing to do when it's staring at you in your face? Anyway, you surrender and let God. Surrender and let God. What God does, man, I swear. It's just beyond some kind of understanding, but there has got to be understanding. You know, to fight for happiness beyond this extreme amount of sadness and heartbreak, you know? And you fight for happiness, it's like, and even though I bought a TV and I went through all this trouble to make her happy, she just won't fucking be happy because of one little fucking fuck up. Just one little fuck up, it just fucks it all up. You know? Just so, and I don't know if anybody else is having to deal with that kind of stuff, you know? So I'm trying to think about it like a child would, you know, like a good advice somebody gave me, you know, just look at it from a different angle, have a different attitude about it because you can have a different attitude about it. You can not care, just be like, whatever, you know. I don't know. Be at it like a child would, you know. Um, I think my issue is that I just do so much for others constantly. And it's been that way since I was a kid because I had to. I had to raise my little sister. I had to defend my little sister. I had to be the father and the mother role ever since I was, you know, first grade, kindergarten. You know, I've had to be in the father and mother role, you know. And I know there's a lot of other people out there that are like that. So, in order to get back to your childhood, you know, to remember things that you did as a kid, even if you were being the mother and the father and being that in that role, you know, there's key points and times where you're actually happy. And you have to actually find that point where it was nobody making you happy, you know, it was just you doing you, you know. And those are the times that I ran away. I ran away and I go and just be with my spirits and my nature and my darkness and my imaginary friends that were end up being more real than anything. So, yeah. And yeah, the fact that I would actually rather when I was a kid to go be homeless and live on the streets instead of live at my dad's big house and money and stuff like that. But still, I was still not codependent. You know, I was still relying on my dad and stuff like that. But now it's different, and it has been different. And I don't know. So, mind the gap, man. Fill it with truth. What is the truth behind it all? What was the truth behind that betrayal? I think is I kind of put the blame on the jackasses that gave him all the fucking drugs when he's 70-year-old man, right? He's already had a few strokes. He's already got his key. What the fuck are you doing giving my dad drugs? You assholes, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why, because he was so wrapped up in the drama and the pollution that and the lies, and I mean extreme fucking shit, man, behind the secret shit with the family, man. And his brothers don't talk to him no more, and his, you know, behind this sick thing, they had to point their fingers at somebody. They had to go and blame somebody, so I was that motherfucker. I was that motherfucker that whole motherfucking family, everybody dropped that shit on me, man. And I didn't do anything but try to help. I was the only one that was doing right. Only motherfucker that was doing right. The only motherfucker that was trying to bring them back together, the family back together. I was the only one that was trying to bring reason to their minds, you know. Nah. They didn't like that. Anyway, it is very, very, very hard, I tell you. But all this comes to one big fucking factor. It really, really, really does. You know, this whole thing. And it is part of the mission that I'm on. Really. It all ties together to this mission that I'm on with God. And knowing that plan A is a thing. If plan A, you know, God's plan A, not plan B of Armageddon. No, bad. I fucking don't want to do that shit. Plan A, you know, I would die right now happy as fuck, going to heaven and rejoicing, you know, knowing that my kids will be alright, knowing that everything will be alright, knowing that everything is cool. I could die today and I'd be happy as fuck. You know what I'm saying? It's like, Lord, give me a heart attack and let me send me up to fucking heaven. I'm great. You know? But what I'm gonna do with God's inheritance, if I get him, I'm gonna make that motherfucking dream come true for every motherfucking buddy, because I will not fucking betray God. Alright, I will not betray my children. I will not betray anybody like y'all wanna fucking do to me. Everybody has done to me. I will not do it. Not. Absolutely not. You know, I might smoke cigarettes and I'm sorry. I might smoke some weed occasionally and I'm sorry. Alright. I mean, that does bring me down. That it's not healthy. I'm trying to just surrender it to God, you know, trying really hard. Alright, but it's hard. I mean, you can say that everything from God is easy, you know. It's easy. Is that a human thing or something? You know, if it's from God, it'd be easy. But as for the devil and Satan, it's hard. I suppose that's true, because it's my job to kick people's ass, you know, and bring people to that bottom so they can rise back up again. You know, but so I gotta step into that role, man. I gotta step into that role that God wants me to be somehow, some way, some other, whatever that role is, and whoever my soul family is, and whoever, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I can't even help my daughter with the stupid black and white TV because I ain't got nobody around. You know, no friends, no family. Literally, you know. So, anyway, I'm going to try to look at us all from a different angle. Try to figure out the mindset that one needs to fix all this. And to make myself happy at the same time, you know, joyfully fix everything, fix myself. Anyway, I don't know if anybody of y'all can relate to any of this shit or not, but I'm sure there's people out there that can, single parents, and especially, you know, that just want to have a better world for their children, even though they're single, and all their time goes to trying to make a household, you know, being a mother and a father, you know, and trying to be yourself too at the same time. So, yeah, some children need a father, man. You know, that's something a friend of mine and I were discussing, you know, that I think that the problem that's in our lives is we don't have a man in our lives. I'm like, yeah, well, you know, the greatest soldiers do it alone. Alone, not with kids. Alone, yeah. It's very easy when to do it alone. Very easy. I can go live as a gutter punk. I don't need this house. I don't need this car. I don't need this money. I don't need nothing. I lived it as gutter punk, and I did a great job doing it too, man. You know, while other people were freezing to death, you know, I made myself a little igloo, cuddled up in that motherfucker, you know. So I can do it by myself. By myself. Yeah, but when you have kids, it's a whole nother ball game. Whole nother ball game. You can't be homeless with children, man. Can't be homeless with children. I mean, you can live in a tent city and stuff like that, but you know, and plus all those people are victims of war out there. They're not doing it, you know. They're doing it homeless with their kids, you know. But you know, I mean, you're gonna lose your kids if you do that shit. And I'm a mother, and just it's in my nature to be nurturing and love others and to give love and not receive any back too much is very much the norm for me. So it's an experience that I would actually like to have one day. But anyway, I really hope people can take this and resonate, you know. Gotta find that childlike nature, some kind of way of filling that gap full of truth, or else you're just gonna indulge in shit, you know. You know, what they say as I end this fucking 30-minute fucking long motherfucker. Um, they say if you blame others, you know, you haven't started yet. If you blame yourself, you're halfway there. If you blame nobody, then you've made it. All right? If you blame nobody, then you've made it. If you blame yourself, it's my fault. That's my fault. I'm sorry, man. It's my fault. You're halfway there. All right? If you blame nobody, you've made it. But if you're pointing fingers, you know, you're still at the beginning of the fucking game, y'all. All right? You're still at the beginning. Just FYI on all that fucking spiritual. All right? Right. Because, I can point my fingers at the fuckers that gave my dad the drugs. I could do all this stuff. But really, the key factor is I must learn this hard ass fucking truth. Hard, not easy. No, this shit did come from God, and it was very fucking hard, but I pursued it. I made it through, and it is gonna be for y'all. If I get this inheritance, this fucking battle is gonna continue, and it will continue to fight for every last motherfucker on this motherfucking planet. Alright? I don't give a fuck. I'm a soldier. Truth. You know? Raised to be a soldier, born a soldier. I am a soldier. And that's just where it is. You know? Trigger happy, man. Alright. I love you.